Hi, Benjamin. How are you today?
Good to see you.
So joining us now is Benjamin Frohlichstein.
Yep.
Did I get it right? Okay. Ortenberg's not easy to pronounce either. So,
We've got hard last names.
who is the co-CEO of Cappellos. Now, what is Cappellos?
Well, in its essence, Cappellos is a grain-free frozen food brand. But it feels like it's so much more to that as we've grown the business and as we've gotten an opportunity to put our products out into the world, yeah.
I'm just going to ask you to put your mic a little closer.
A little closer?
Okay, that
sorry
is
about
perfect. I could see our sound guy, Joe, in the background giving me some hand signals.
Good, okay.
But I thought meant lift up your mic. So Cappellos, while you are more than just a product, you definitely have built this whole tribe around the brand. What products do you produce?
So we started out making almond flour pasta in my kitchen about 8 years ago, and we're really trying to pioneer a new standard in frozen altogether as a brand. And so we've actually extended the brand now into frozen pizzas that are also almond flour based, and we've also put out a line of frozen cookie dough that's almond flour based as well.
They're really amazing. I think I had them about 5 years ago. And it was one of the few brands I went home to my Whole Foods and I actually filled in the form to request it.
Oh, you were the one.
Yeah. I hear it finally got to us, so my bugging them paid off. But why almond flour? Like at the time, yes, there was a little bit of gluten-free, but there wasn't a lot of discussion around grain-free or paleo or keto and all these buzzwords that now, appreciate fats and appreciate healthy fats.
Right. Well, it's exactly that. I mean, almonds in their essence are protein rich, fiber rich, and a healthy fat. And when we were trying to think about what we could do to make the best possible products, as we were cutting pasta in the kitchen 8 years ago with almond flour and rolling fresh pasta, the almond flour mimicked traditional pasta, and it had the texture and the taste and the feel that we really felt like we could go to market with. And so ultimately the almond's been our best friend. So we like to joke around the office, one day you're an almond, the next day you're a pizza, and that's been true.
I want to grow up to be a pizza. That sounds like a fun way to go, I'm going to be honest. Did you have to educate consumers about what it means to be grain-free?
So it's been really beautiful to watch how consumers have responded to Cappellos over the years. And when we started out at the farmers market, there was a very small group of folks who were looking for mostly gluten-free products. And there was then this kind of emergence of folks starting to look for paleo position, grain-free products. And as we grew the brand, we knew being a grain-free brand, we would always be able to talk to gluten-free consumers. But what was really beautiful in the journey is all the autoimmune disorders and these communities that are looking for these products started to come out of the woodwork and use our pasta products, our pizza products, to be able to bring some kind of normalcy to their lives. And that's what really kept us moving forward. And I look now kind of at the consumer landscape, I see brands like Siete and Primal Kitchen and these grain-free brands that are coming out and meeting consumers kind of where they are now. And I think that's really beautiful to watch from the seat of the founder and from someone who's watched the evolution of grain-free for many years, almost a decade now.
Now, we heard from Gail of Collie Power this morning that, she doesn't even mention gluten-free that much. As you guys try to scale the brand and become, a mainstream brand across America, is it talking about these health attributes, or is it also just saying like, hey, it tastes really good?
I think it can be a combination of both, and we've always put deliciousness first and function, I think, second. And again, going back to just how amazing the almond is, the ability for us to use that as our hero ingredient and to put the products out that we are, there is just an inherent deliciousness factor in that. And I think we want to continue to push the envelope on what grain-free and what taste and texture can be. But yeah, that's a great question, yeah.
Now, you guys started off in Boulder, right?
Denver,
sorry.
Denver,
Colorado.
Boulder, yeah.
Apologies. But Colorado can be a bit of a bubble, right? So how do you, as you're creating new products, say, okay, is this a Colorado consumer? Or is this like a product that really has legs with a mainstream shopper because. I remember going into Whole Foods in Colorado years ago, and there's like literally an aisle that says paleo,
Right.
And
very progressive.
I'd go home to New Orleans where my mom was, and there wasn't necessarily a paleo aisle there.
Sure. It was a blessing to be in the Denver Boulder community, not only from all of the progressive food and beverage brands that are there, but the mentorship, but also the consumers that are there are forward-looking, and they're looking for better, healthier options, and they're constantly challenging, I think, brands to either emerge out of nowhere and or the brands that are there to put the products they're looking for into the marketplace. So for us, it really gave us encouragement early on to, going back to those farmer market days, first gluten-free, then some grain-free folks starting to come out and really support the brand. And we thought to ourselves, maybe there's something here, and I don't know if in other parts of the country we would have gotten that early validation and encouragement to keep moving forward.
How do you get out of the Boulder bubble, though? Do you guys do, or Colorado bubble,
Sure.
Do you guys do market testing? Do you do consumer research? How do you get feedback about your products?
I think having the ability to not be digitally native, but in the early days, that was still a big part of our business, was reaching consumers nationally through sending them product in the mail and having them be able to go to our website and buy frozen pasta, which in the early days seemed like no one was going to do that, but every day there'd be more and more folks coming and seeking out the product. So I think it gave us the ability to see early on that there were consumers out there looking for these products, and as we were able to kind of grow the retail locally, the online sales continued to grow and grow, and we expanded more or less that way. So I think brands have a unique opportunity to test the waters online.
Now, speaking about being forward-thinking on trends, you're also pretty forward-thinking on your packaging and your design, and that whole aesthetic is just, it's gorgeous. At Expo West, you put out this whole kind of like newspaper magazine that like didn't feel like an ad. It felt like I was looking at a really cool music magazine, or maybe a cool gourmet Bon Appetit. Sorry, gourmet doesn't exist. Bon Appetit.
Sure.
How do you approach design?
Well, high design has always been a big part of this brand, and so thank you for saying that. And the lookbook that we put out at Expo was, I think, very well received and also super fun to do. I'm a little biased. My brother is our lead designer and creative director at Cappellos, but he also, I think, has put out some brilliant work. And we started out with a very stark, kind of minimal look and feel with the black triangle and the black and white patterning on the box, and we have moved to a photographical element, though, that I think still encapsulates some of the core tenets of the brand, but also gives consumers a better understanding of what we're trying to give them inside that box. So.
But at the same time, while you've had to add these photos and things like that, you haven't abandoned your roots at all when it came to design. I don't feel like it's, dumbed down in any way. It still has those notes of really strong aesthetic point of view.
Yeah, I think if anything, we were able to even push the design a little bit further by making sure that the photographical element we incorporated did align with the very identifiable and kind of core look and feel of the Cappellos brand, and I think they nailed it.
Well, I know you've certainly nailed the taste. The packaging is gorgeous too. I so appreciate you taking the time to share your story and join us at NOSH Live today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.